What's up everyone, it's day 81 in the Big Brother house, which means there are very few days left to compete for the title of Big Brother 22 winner, and Nicole has already clinched the win for part 1 of the final head of household competition, so Cody and Enzo are preparing to win part 2. But of course, before that actually happens, we've got many more game updates to get through to find out who actually be taking each other to the final 2. So guess what guys, welcome to your live feed update. Right before we get started folks, please hit the subscribe button if you are new around here, and please also click the like button and the bell icon to get notified every single time a brand new upload goes live on the channel. To start the updates off, it was a very chill morning inside the Big Brother house. Obviously with it being the final few days, the only thing on everyone's mind is winning that final head of household competition so they can obviously seal their deal or essentially get themselves to the final 2 and choose who they sit next to. So really it's just all the niceties until the comps start to really kick in, and until someone's really crowned that final winner. That's really when the game talk will heat up. Obviously there'll be a little bit sort of planting seeds here and there to try and get you to take or get somebody else to take you to the final 2. But besides that, it's pretty much just nice stuff on the morning. Everyone's getting up, brushing their teeth, getting dressed, doing their thing, and talking about food and talking about face mask, all the usual stuff. It's just very much just chill out time and relaxing for the house guest this morning. At midday, the house guest was sat in the kitchen and Nicole was saying that she trusted Davon. She was reflecting back, but she was sort of saying Davon trusted Kevin. It's just a chain reaction of trust, obviously, and when you're associated with someone who's associated with somebody else, it's often hard to trust them. But she was saying she did trust Davon. But then Enzo sort of chimed in and he said that he believes the final 3 this year had definitely the strongest social games, so he believes Enzo himself, Cody and Nicole had the strongest social games this year. I'd like to throw this to you guys. Who do you think, which 3 house guests do you think had the strongest social game this year? I'm just very interested to see what people have to say. I would say, you know, a social game is probably someone who's made it a bit further, because you can't get too far without a good social game or making a good dent on your social game. You could have the starts of a foundations of a good social game in the first couple of weeks and end up getting evicted. But who do you think overall has had a solid all-around good social game this year? Enzo was talking about the jury house and he was saying that Christmas is going to go over there and tell them this is what's going in the house, yo, bro, all that sort of stuff, and then Memphis is going to blow up and Danny's probably going to say some crap too, and he's just really sort of going to town and thinking, you know, who's actually going to be a solid juror who isn't going to vote with a chip on their shoulder, and who's actually going to be someone who is, in essence, like he believes Memphis and Danny will be, and have a problem and not want to vote him to win because of, you know, they feel a bit begrudged or they feel a bit annoyed of the way Enzo treated them in the game. It's a game, you know, that's the key thing there. And I know a lot of people say, you know, it's not just a game, but Danny said it best herself in the episode the other night. She said that as jurors they have a responsibility to vote for who played the best game, and then she went on to feel a tiny bit bitter about Nicole sort of going behind her and stuff like that. But I think she is really rooting for Cody, who she did feel betrayed by, so that's a fair enough point. But I guess really it all comes down to the jury roundtable when Dr. Will questions them. I don't even know if we're going to get a jury roundtable this year because of COVID restrictions. I have my fingers crossed, because it's always great to see Dr. Will quizzing everyone, and I'm just very excited to see where everyone's vote is going to lie in the end, because I think we could actually it could be quite unexpected where it could go, especially if Cody is evicted in the final 3. Enzo and Nicole continue to have this conversation about Christmas and Memphis, and they really do think because they were somewhat blindsided, they will hold a grudge on their part and not vote one of them to win for that reason, and they are very worried that they are going to be annoyed going into the jury house. But Enzo was sort of reflecting more on the game, saying that he really enjoyed the wall comp and also the puppet master competition for the simple reason of Kesa was the first to fall out of that competition, or the first to leave that competition, and Enzo was very happy about that. Enzo was saying that when he gets out of the house, he thinks that lots of people will want him to appear on a podcast and all that sort of stuff, but Enzo said, no, he's not doing anything, yo. He's going home and doing nothing, yo. It seriously shows that when it gets down to this late in the game, there is seriously not that much game talk going on, because the house guests were arguing over if an avocado was ripe or not. I mean, that is riveting game talk for the final week of Big Brother 22. There definitely seems to be a lot of reflection of the first part of the head of household competition, with Enzo and Cody with having a lot of regret. Obviously Nicole, a lot of people I've seen online saying that she's got a bigger advantage because she's smaller than the other 2 competitors, so she can hold onto the rope longer as it's spinning round and round. And they were sort of talking about the disadvantages and advantages of it, and Cody was saying that he would be able to sort of dangle his feet off it because he can hold on more and all that sort of stuff. And I think Nicole was saying that was an advantage, but then Cody was like, you know, there's 90 more pounds on him, so you know, it's not an advantage, all that sort of stuff. And then Enzo was just chiming in saying that he was just spinning and getting dizzy, yo, and then Cody and Nicole were just laughing that off. But at the end of the day, there's not much you can do about that now. Nicole has won part 1 and Cody and Enzo will face off in part 2. Definitely a reflective day in the house, as Nicole was talking about her gameplay styles from her other seasons, and she was also talking about Janelle at one point as well, saying that Janelle threw her under the bus, and apparently that caused, or she believes, that caused Janelle to blow up her own game. Enzo is very much sick and tired of the game now. He's definitely still got the fight in him to try and win part 2 of the Head of Household competition and eventually part 3 should he make it to that round. But I think seeing his kids the other night on the live episode in the video package really sent him over the edge. I really do feel sorry for the guy and I can totally understand how he's feeling. I think, you know, it's wonderful to see a family package. It must be extremely just nice and warm-hearted feeling when you see it. But at the same time, it probably just makes you miss your family even more. It's either, you know, it's going to give you that motivation or it will give you the motivation, but it can also come with a bit of sadness and you just miss them even more as well, feeling a bit more homesick. So do you know what, Enzo, stick it out there, the meow meow, you've got what it takes, just hang on in there and you may just win the game. Enzo was in the storage room at one point and he was basically talking to, you know, just himself, sort of saying he is really going to try and win this part 2, and he says if not, they have got me, and I'd say it's very likely. There's still a slim chance that I think Nicole would cut Cody and take Enzo, and again there's a slim chance Cody would cut Nicole and take Enzo, but Enzo really is fighting for himself, and if he can take out Cody, and I've said this I think in a comment to what someone said yesterday, I do believe Enzo still can stand a chance. Whoever can take out Cody can win the game, because I think at the moment Cody is viewed as the superior house guest by all of the jurors. So if someone can essentially slay the beast, it sort of puts a massive sort of tick on your Big Brother resume, on your CV, so you can go, hey, I took out Cody, the person who was very likely going to win the season, and then they can seal the victory for themselves. Cody said that he thinks Danny and Christmas will fight in the jury house, and obviously in the live episode the other day we saw Danny and Kevin getting very snappy towards one another over something David was saying. I think David was trying to speak, Danny was trying to interject slightly, Kevin was like, let him finish his point, and then those two started butting heads and things went a little bit kaboom. Not massive, but you never know when Christmas shows up the jury, there may just be a little bit of tension going on there, but obviously we will very not likely find out, because at this point we don't really see any sort of jury moments from there on. We might hear of something, but we don't see anything, because the final jury segment really that we get from here on out is actually the jury roundtable, when everyone's sat there, and then Christmas will show up as the 4th place house guest. We may get a little fight in the jury roundtable, so yeah, obviously Christmas and Danny will have headed back to the jury house afterwards, but we won't see any of that, but we may see something at the roundtable itself. For the rest of the evening, the house guest really just relaxed and chilled out, sort of more reflection of all the house guests gone by, that sort of stuff, and a few of them were sort of playing backgammon. More specifically, Cody and Nicole had a bit of a sort of best of 5 backgammon tournament, and pretty much they just ate donuts for the rest of the evening and drank some milk. To sum everything up, Nicole has won part 1 of the final Head of Household competition, and she has obviously made it to part 3, and she will battle against the winner of part 2, so Cody and Enzo will face off, and the winner of that will verse Nicole in round 3/part 3. The winner of that will then decide who goes to the jury and who they take next to them to the final 2 to face off against the jury, and eventually in the hopes of winning $500,000 and the title of Big Brother 22 All-Star Champion. Who's going to do it? Who do you guys think is going to do it? Who do you want to do it? Just let me know your thoughts and predictions in the comment section below. It's obviously very dry for Game Talk right now, because it's just all hangs in the balance of these comps. People are making a couple of deals here and there, planting a couple of seeds, but really it's anyone's game, and you need to win this comp to stay in the game to try and seal the victory. That is all of your game updates for today, folks. Thank you very, very much, everyone, for watching. I appreciate it massively. I hope you all enjoyed watching the video as well, and I hope you all have a fantastic weekend as well, guys. Please let me know in the comments section who you are hoping wins part 2 and then part 3 of the final Head of Household competition. Who would you like to see in the final 2? Would you like to see Cody and Enzo, Nicole and Cody, Enzo and Nicole? Lots and lots of combinations to throw around, guys, but who would you like to see in the final 2 and eventually win the $500,000 and the title of Big Brother 22 All-Star Champ? Please let me know, guys. I'm interested in who you are all rooting for. But please check out the description as well, folks, where you can find a few fun interactive features, where you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and also you can become a patron of TV Talks with Tom, guys. But again, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Do all of that stuff. But until your next live feed update, I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.